You know how excited I am that we're having a conspiracy with you today? It's amazing. Hi, everybody.
Hi. Am I actually?
Hold on a second here. I got all messed up because of you, man.
Why? It's a cold open.
Here we go.
It's
Am
a
I
cold,
on?
Yes,
It's a
Dan.
cold open. I mean, the cold opens are part of every
Hello,
show.
everybody. It is. Well, let me start over.
Ah!
You got everybody. You got everybody messed up there, Nick.
I got messed up.
Look,
Yeah, we all got
I wanted
messed
a
up.
nice little back and forth banter
As
with
we were opening up.
with Dave. I wanted that
There was
awesome
this-
cold
we-
open, and you
when-
didn't give it to
when
me.
No, because when we fade to the show, there's silence. There's quiet on the set.
But
That's
I wanted
the way it is.
But I wanted a cold open.
Too bad.
No, it's not too bad.
It is too bad.
Look, before the arguing, you were listening to Jeff Pitchell's Fat Cigars, and that means it's time for Not Just Blowing Smoke. And, when you hear the banter, it's time for Not Just Blowing Smoke. When you see the cigars lighten up, it's time for Not Just Blowing Smoke. And that's filmed right here in 724 Lounge, live every Monday night at 8 o'clock. Be sure you subscribe to us on Facebook or YouTube if you're streaming it live. If you're listening after the fact on Podbean, iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, Google, Amazon, wherever else you get your podcast, make sure you hit that subscribe button down there so you don't ever miss a thing.
Or up this way. Or
Maybe
wait
it's up
this
that way. Most of them
It's
are
most
down
of-
that.
It could be down, but you could hit the subscribe button up here too as
Wherever
well.
it is,
Wherever you want to do, baby.
hit the button. I'm Pastor Padron. We've got Nick O'Teen, and we've got Dave and Confused as your
so
host for tonight.
confused.
Pat is working, closing the retail for us downstairs.
He's taking
And
one for the team, and
He's taking one for the team
he's
today.
covering. He's doing a solid, baby.
And we are coming at you live on Memorial Day. Yes, we even do Memorial Day. Why? Because we love our listeners.
Yeah.
We love our listeners. And we are doing this cigar to start out with. This is the Illusione TAA ESP. They would come out with a cigar called ESP.
Of course they would.
2022. It just came out. It was announced at the TAA last year, and it just came out. But just hit this month. It is a Nicaraguan wrapper binder filler. It's a Toro 6x56. Before we get into other topics tonight, what are our initial thoughts as we light this thing up?
It's nice. It's spicy.
Mm-hmm.
I also
What?
Yep. I also read about the
You
cigar
read?
that they, on occasion,
Oh, I'm
that
impressed.
they use some Corojo 2006
Not all of it.
Yes.
some. So that's the
Guess it's
spice that we're.
mackerel.
That's the spice that we're getting, and it's lovely.
Mm.
I love it when they're using
And
Corojo.
the
back.
2006 does not reference the age. It's
It's
the
just
year that hybrid was created.
correct.
Mm.
Just so that we're all clear on that.
Mhm.
But very nice, very spicy. So a lot of
Now-
woody notes.
So this is the 22.
Yeah, it's a 22, but
That just
it
got
literally,
here.
literally just came a couple of weeks
So
ago.
does that mean it's been sitting around for a year? And this is just like a little age on this? Or
Maybe.
like, do we know?
I'm sure that Dion likes to take his time with things, and we all know
well,
how
everybody had problems
we
with
all know
boxes
how
and
the
labels, so I'm
cigar
just wondering,
cigar world is with getting boxes and labels and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, it's a
Our
tough thing.
25th
So,
from Rocky isn't
it-
out yet either.
yeah.
So
Well,
they've
that-
had it
and
for a year.
That's one of the reasons it's been delayed is because of boxes and stuff like that. So that might very well be a problem with this, but I do not know that for a fact.
But that's the only problem because this is very good.
Yeah.
I mean, most of Illusion cigars that I've pretty much had all their stuff. The only one that I haven't had was that one that looks like a peace sign on it. It's an orange band. It looks like a peace sign, but
Oh
somebody
yeah, the one-off.
the one-off. That's
Yep.
the only cigar I haven't had, and hopefully at some point in time I can get my hands on one. But that's the only one I haven't had. That's not even a peace sign on there. It's actually an airplane, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's an airplane. I remember I was talking about
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. And we have this beautiful drink from Pat.
that. Beautiful Twinkie Poo.
It is a variation on a Manhattan. It's got a rye in it. It's got sweet vermouth. It's got cognac. It's
Got cognac.
a little bit of everything in there. It's got a little sweetness to it. It's got a lot of spice to it. And I think it's going to go very, very well with the cigar. Let me take a sip here and see if things are
Ooh,
correct.
baby.
Sip that puppy.
Man, that thing's got some
Zipper.
flair.
Yeah,
he
that's
was saying
got
it was
some
going to
zip.
be have some spice to
That's
it.
got
so-
some flair to it. I mean,
Don't snore, Dave.
it's going really well with the cigar so
Yeah.
far. I mean, the spice note is complementing it.
Mm,
Yeah, there's this like
there's got to be rum in there.
no,
No?
there's no rum.
What's
Wow. The cognac is probably the
Cognac,
sweet note that
okay.
you're getting from it.
Yeah.
Plus, he's using a little bit of
Cognac.
cognac. He's also using a little sweet vermouth as well. So you're
vermouth?
getting that.
That's what it is.
Yep.
Yeah, vermouth. I can do something really odd.
There's
I'm
high,
not. I'm
there's
not a
high
big
C in it.
fan.
That's it. High C. That's what it is.
I'm not a big fan of the flavor side.
Mm.
hmm
Mhm.
The flavor side
Of this flavor side,
of
You know,
this
of-
flavor
of the
side.
cognac.
What do you mean?
the cognac. You know.
You know,
Oh.
so, do you like the drink,
Eh.
or it's not your thing?
No, not my thing.
It's not your thing.
That's okay.
Give it a couple years, Dave. We'll get you all just
No,
like
no, no,
bourbon,
no,
just
I'm
like scotch.
done.
We're gonna get you all tuned up so that you are a true spirit connoisseur.
Hey, just because I'm a connoisseur doesn't mean I have to like it.
That's.
No.
I think that's what being a connoisseur means.
No,
Am I wrong?
no, that means knowledge. It means you've been around, you've drank everything.
Yeah, but you
poured
haven't.
so many things down my throat. I understand.
Easy. Some of the
Hey,
listeners.
I wasn't
are,
going there.
some of
Okay,
the
you
listeners
don't
are,
have to drag it through the gutter, Nick.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
You started it.
Well, this is a big week here at Twins. Just so you know what's going on, we got Nimmy
Nimmity.
Nimidi. We got Nimish Desai coming
Yep.
this weekend. He's going to be here Friday night. We're doing a night with Nimish out on the deck.
Friday.
Hamburgers, hot dogs, bratwurst, whole big thing. There's going
Guys
to
better
be
save me some.
724 pours going along with that too. $40 gets you the all you can eat barbecue, 3 cigars, time with Nimmy out on the deck. It's going to be a great thing. There's like
And it's gonna be
5 or
gorgeous,
6
too.
tickets left. That's it. And then it's all gone. It's already kind of a packed place.
Yeah.
But it's going to sell out. So if you haven't gotten your ticket and you're around this Friday, the 2nd of June, give us a call. Come in the store, get your ticket before they're all gone. He's also going to be around on Saturday the 3rd. We're doing a Rocky Patel retail event. There's going to be all sorts of specials and things going on. And if everything goes well, we will be introducing the Rocky Patel Twins 25th anniversary cigar that they made for us.
Very nice. That's going to be exciting.
And also on Saturday.
Also on
Me.
Saturday, if you are not going to
Yeah.
be around, well, no, you have to come to Twins. You have to, but after you
You're
come
gonna-
to,
You have
after
to do
go-
both, okay?
after you go to Twins, our friends over at the 603 Brewery
That's right.
on Saturday the 3rd, 603
At
is
603.
the 10th anniversary of 603 Brewery.
Mm-hmm.
How cool is that? And Nick and Dave are going to be over there. They're going to
We
be
will.
selling cigars. There's going to be an outdoor lounge.
Yep. It's going to be a good time.
All the beer and food you could want.
Oh,
I'm going to
Yeah,
wear
And
stock, huh?
cigars. It's going to be epic.
it's gonna be 75.
There's
I'm going to wear my
the weather's going to be great.
Yep.
It's going to be, I did it last year myself. There were about 4,000 people that came during the day.
4K.
It's going to be fantastic at the 603 Brewery off of Exit 4 in Londonderry. It's very, very good. That's kind of what's going on right now.
I'm going to
and
wear
we're
my
excited about it.
I'm going to wear my event shirt, my 724 event shirt.
I'm gonna wear my Crocs.
There you go. You can do that. Why not? Yeah, I'm going to wear my
I got my red Crocs.
I'm going to wear
Crimson red
my
Crocs.
event only
Oh.
shirt. You'll see my event only shirt.
Bring
It's
some
nice.
gloves too, because your job is going to be holding down the tent.
Dang.
I'm gonna be
It's going to be a windy
You're
day.
going to be
stake that.
You're going to
mofo.
be holding the tent in place, making sure it does not get blown across, because that particular place, the wind just comes across
Fair tunnel.
and it just tunnels across. And
We'll
that
hold it
tent
down
will
with
pick up and
724
move.
boxes.
When I was there last year, I had Cheyenne with me, and her job was literally to hold the tent. And she could barely do that because she's like a waif,
Oh, yeah.
you know.
She's got some muscle on her now. I think she can do
Now
it.
she got some muscle on
We
her.
might
She's
have
been
to-
doing
we
good.
might
She's
have to
been
call
spending some time at the
reinforcements.
gym. She's been pumping.
She's
Pumping
the,
iron.
pumping
now,
the iron.
Now she's getting good.
Yeah.
Yep, that's right. So, you know, Illusione, you know, cigars, you know, has a thing with conspiracy theories.
They
you
do,
don't
yeah.
say.
And, you know, you can see it, right? I mean, the cigar is what? The ESP.
Yes,
You know, so it's the whole thing just surrounds the brand. You know, is he a Nazi lover or not?
Oh,
Is he, you know, are all of his cigars, you know, code name for secret things, or whatever? And for some of them, there's some truth to that. The MJ12 is named after the Majestic 12,
yep.
right?
MK Ultra.
And the MK Ultra, you know. But some of this
Op
other
number
stuff,
9.
you know, I
Yep.
I don't know. You know, the 88 is that, you know,
Double
the people are
infinity.
like, oh, it's the numbers that Hitler used, and he's like, no, it's the year I moved to Vegas. That's
Oh
it.
man.
So who are you gonna believe?
There are
The
no
guy who made the theory? You're gonna,
What about-
you know, the crazy
There
conspiracy
are no
guys?
coincidences.
So I sold. I don't know if you guys could look that up or you guys know. I sold a CG4.
I'm
what-
so happy for you, Nick.
Well, I sold a few of them.
I'm glad.
what is-
that's nice?
That's the only one that I don't know any conspiracy correlation to for the CG4. Does anybody know the significance behind that? Those
I
three?
used to. I don't at the moment. We might have to do a little fact checking.
Fact checking or just looking it up.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Yeah.
is fact checking.
A
Yeah.
lickety split.
Which is fact checking.
lickety lit.
So-
CG4.
Yep.
The CG4
Yep.
by Illusione.
Mm.
You know, when
This
I first met Mr. Giolito when he came to the store that
Mhm.
time, our first event with him,
Mm-hmm.
I could have sworn he was Elvis's long lost son.
Mm.
I mean, he had
Those sideburns.
the
were
sideburns, the haircut.
incredible.
I
And he was
mean,
tall.
yeah, he's what 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah.
Oh my God, what a guy! An unbelievable guy to talk to. I mean,
Mhm.
everybody in
Very
the
nice
industry.
guy.
I mean, Rocky Patel, Nick Perdomo, everybody, Kurt Kendall, of course.
Mhm.
Man, Pete Johnson,
Mhm.
everybody, really nice
It's
people.
a reference to the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Oh, all right, baby.
Mhm.
That's
Biblical.
always biblical.
Biblical.
It's the white horse, which strode a pale rider. Wasn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah,
Dropping some-
pestilence
Mhm.
or pale. Yeah, right. Pestilence.
Pestilence or Pale Rider. You're getting your Clint Eastwood references all screwed up with your Bible.
It's not a bad thing, I guess.
A pale rider, maybe. Yeah, great movie though.
Pale Rider was a great movie.
I never
Yes.
watched it.
Really? Oh no,
watched it.
that actually
You're not
is
even
a great
American.
movie.
I am not. I'm not an American at all. But I've watched Jaws, and I think Jaws is one of the greatest movies ever made.
Doesn't make you American.
Yeah, it does. Yes,
Not
it does.
Jaws, sorry.
100%.
Not Jaws.
All right, how
No.
about
Yes, Nick.
hold
Yes.
on, Commando.
Commando. Commando's a good movie.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, Commando. Come on,
Have any of you
E.T.?
started, or have you
Christmas
watched?
Story?
Have you watched
it's a good movie too.
Schwarzenegger's latest thing, Fubar, on Netflix?
No, I wanted to watch it, but then I saw the trailer and I'm like, oh my God, Arnold, retire already, baby.
I don't know, dude.
I
I've
mean,
been- I've-
Like,
I've
look,
watched the first 3 episodes, and
oh, it's episodes, not like a
it's
straight
episo-
movie.
No, it's episodes.
Oh, all right.
It's
So,
episodes. It's a
what'd you think?
series. It's an action comedy,
Yeah.
right? So when you understand that, you know, it's not supposed to be this wicked serious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's fun.
No, I'm
It's
gonna have
fun
to-
and it's funny, and it's lighthearted, and it does that really well. And when you think that Schwarzenegger is playing a 65-year-old retired CIA officer.
He should have played his
And-
age at 78.
He's 75.
Oh,
He's 75.
there you go.
But you look at him and you say, he's 75. He looks like he's 65. He does not look like he's 75 years old.
I mean, he's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
And-
You know who else
and-
looks amazing is Chuck Norris. He's freaking 80 something, and he looks He looks
Yeah.
just as good as Schwarzenegger.
Easy what you
And
say about Mr. Norris.
The
Easy.
idea is
Well, yeah.
that he's been in the CIA for 40 years.
Yeah.
He's retiring, and just as he thinks he's out, he gets called back in.
They pull him
to,
back in.
to save an operative who's in trouble, and the operative turns out to be his daughter. Neither of them knew the other was in the CIA. Of course, he didn't tell his family he was in the CIA because he's an undercover agent. He's not gonna talk. And she gets into the CIA, and she's not gonna tell it. But the funny thing is that the cover for him is that he's this. He owns this gym equipment business, and he's always going out, trying to sell equipment and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And but he's off at a moment's notice. He's never been home. Things have been, a divorce happens. The daughter's like, why isn't my dad ever here? And then, so there's this whole thing where they both feel like the other person has been lying to them. And then they both end up having to work together.
That's cool.
And they've got all of these major issues that they have to work through, and it's hilarious. and what's great about it is all of those corny lines that you love Schwarzenegger saying.
Those one-liners.
They're
man, you
all
gotta
in
love it.
there. It's fantastic.
That's awesome.
So if you like the old Schwarzenegger movies like Commando,
Yeah.
and
Terminator,
you
all
want to have one more shot.
Wouldn't it be
with
funny
these-
if it
with
was
these-
like Alyssa Milano? Because then you could just tie
Oh
in Commando.
man, that would have been cool. I'm pretty
So-
sure
so I'm
the
enjoying
director
it.
probably phoned that one in and said, "Yeah, maybe not. I don't know."
So I'm enjoying it. I think it's worth watching.
Cool.
Yeah.
Dave, any Netflix movies that you've come across that you've been interested in?
What did I recently watch that was new?
I usually watch Crunchyroll. I'm much more into the anime.
There's nothing wrong with that. I love anime myself. I'm an anime guy. Haven't watched it in a little bit, but
10 years.
no, like maybe a year or two. I've been quite busy at home,
Yes. Dave.
obviously, with the coop.
No, but I haven't watched really anything new on Netflix. But I did see the new Nicolas Cage movie where he was Dracula.
Oh yeah. What did you think of that?
I thought it was freaking hilarious. I thought he was perfect. He did the role. I thought he played Dracula perfectly.
You know, as crazy as crazy as he is, I mean, and obviously I don't know him personally, so I
Reinfeld,
can't.
that's what it was.
Yeah. He does really good movies, man.
No, he does.
Nicolas Cage does really good
I
movies.
like Nicolas Cage a lot. I like his quirkiness. I like
Yeah.
that's.
I mean, one of
There's
the
only one Nicolas Cage. You know what I mean?
yes.
Yeah.
I think one of the movies that I definitely enjoyed with him, other than Gone in 60 Seconds, because I mean, like that movie for everybody, or even his career, was probably one of the highlights of his career. I mean, Gone in 60 Seconds. It came out right after Fast and Furious, about boosting cars, and I mean, like it couldn't have came out at a better time. But the movie that I love watching, because I love these two actors, is Face Off with John Travolta and Nicolas Cage.
That was so good.
And they have to play each
Yeah.
other. And I mean, what a unbelievable movie. It was made by Jerry Bruckheimer, I believe, that made Gone in 60 Seconds, that made majority of
Well, can you imagine having to study
somebody else?
Somebody else, like John Travolta had to study his mannerisms and all, because they all made fun of like pretty much all the movies they were in before.
Yeah,
But, like
Basically.
with their things, it was hilarious. It was so well done.
Now,
Oh, yeah.
to me, the best Nicolas Cage movie was The Rock.
Oh,
The Rock was really good.
now that.
That was a frickin' amazing.
Yep.
Not to mention Sean Connery.
Sean
You
Connery.
Sean
Yeah.
Connery. I
Gotta
mean,
love a Sean
that
Connery.
was, I mean, for me, and the theories are out there, that was the final for his character as 007.
Yeah.
That was the final movie that Sean Connery did as 007.
Yeah.
That is the theory, which, I mean, there are hundreds of...
The British secret agent who's
Right.
left. Yeah, exactly.
left.
Who else would he be?
Well, it
Who else would he be?
coincides. Well, it coincides. I mean, like, the timeline. I was watching a couple videos, and they made like this whole timeline of the last 007 that Sean Connery
There's a
did.
conspiracy theory.
That is right there. I mean, well, the whole show is about Illusione and conspiracies and shit and stuff. So I mean, but I mean, they have the whole timeline for the last 007 that Sean Connery made to where the movie The Rock picks up, and some of the details that are in The Rock about the director of the FBI saying, he was a secret, British soldier, British operative that went off the grid and got caught stealing photos of JFK's assassination, and then they caught him, and they busted out of prison, and they had to put him into the prison under the prison. So I mean it lines up. So for me that is 100%. 100% the last 007 movie.
Yep. I look at it the same way. And like I said, to me, that is Nicolas Cage's best movie.
Yeah. What was the other one? There was another one there that I really liked. I can't. I can't.
Con Air.
Please don't say Ghost Rider. Please don't say Ghost Rider.
No, Con Air was good. I mean, the accent,
back in the
the southern accent was kind of wonky, and I mean, like a couple of them. I mean, a couple of times in the movie he lost the accent, and it was bad. But I mean, you had John Malkovich.
Hummingbird.
Oh my god! So I mean, like that was a good movie. I mean, I've enjoyed all of even like some of the like recent ones that he's like made in front of himself and his career.
Yep.
Like,
well, there's a new Netflix thing that I watched, and it had Nicolas Cage. Was History of Swear Words.
Yeah,
that was freaking hilarious.
Yeah,
the history of swear words.
Yeah, he did this whole. I mean, of course, he was like being ostentatious and saying all these swears really loudly and everything like that, because that's what the show was about. And of course, like I think the first word he did, of course, was the F word and stuff like that. And they went to the history of it.
Yeah.
And it was just hilarious, and they went really deep dive into it, into like all the myths and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
well,
I mean,
let's. Here's a conspiracy thing for you.
Go ahead.
I kind of heard one this Sunday.
Ooh.
I was talking with a lady who was telling me that she was totally convinced that cell phones are used to listen and hear and collect all sorts of data around you. And so that when they listen to what you're saying and they listen to and they know who you're with and what you're doing and what stores you're in, and then you go to Facebook and, oh, you were just looking at that. Oh, I was just talking about that. Oh, I just said I wanted to see that, and all of a sudden it shows up, and all these things, and just completely,
it's not really a conspiracy.
completely convinced that like that depression, anxiety, suicidal thing are all connected to the cell phone. And that if you
God.
put your phone, if
Sorry.
you turn off your phone, you put it in a little portable Faraday cage or something, your mood would almost instantly start to improve.
Well, I don't
And
think.
I'm listening to her going, and nodding my head like I agreed, but I'm thinking that there's some, obviously you got to be dumb to think that there's not, there's a lot of collection stuff going on, and algorithms, look at what you're doing,
let me
and
spell it out for
as they figure out what you like to see and what you like to listen to, they start filtering so that that's what you see, more of what they think is in line.
But they
with
don't
you.
do it without your permission. No. Listen. So when you buy your phone, and the first thing you do is sign into your account, whether it's Apple or whether it's Google,
Right.
Okay.
Right.
As soon as you hit the I agree button,
Yeah. But what have you agreed to?
did you read it?
What have you
Nobody
agreed
read
to?
it. It lists all the things that they capture, and it lists the ways that they protect your data, and use your data, and that most of the time it's kept on the phone. It's only used by programs, and nobody sees it unless the government says like you committed the crime, and they have to.
Well,
they have to give it to a court order, and then it goes over to this.
But they don't really do.
The CEO of TikTok said that too. So that
no,
all the
this is-
data stays in the United States.
Well, that's that. Now you're talking about TikTok.
Oh,
That's owned by China, and
It definitely is.
Utah banned it in their state.
they did.
And honestly, if you're into nefarious things, you probably shouldn't have TikTok on your phone.
You shouldn't have TikTok on your phone, period. But that's another story for another day, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about conspiracies.
But no, it's not a conspiracy. It's absolutely true. And
You just said it wasn't true. You just said that you just said that.
Well,
you,
it's
you
not-
signed your thing, and it only stays
Well,
on your
I'm saying
phone.
it's
And
not a
now
cons-
you're saying it's not true.
I'm saying the conspiracy. The collection part is absolutely true because she agreed to it when she signed in. When she installs an app and she accepts the terms and conditions, everybody does. Nobody looks at it. There you go. That's why it's doing it. Now, the thing is, with both phones, Apple and Android, you can go in to each app and turn off the gathering settings, or whether or not it has access to your camera, your contacts, your GPS location, your microphone and stuff like that. You can turn that stuff off after
Can
you've
you?
done it. Yes.
Yeah, but no,
Can-
you can't.
no, can
no, you
you?
can't. No,
That's-
you can't.
The can you is
No.
Now here's my gripe. This
You
is
cannot.
why I'm very pro Android, is because with Apple, all their stuff is proprietary. So there's no research available for you to look yourself and verify that that's what the software does. With Android, it's based on Linux and it's open source. So everything has to be publicly documented.
Right.
And it's free. So every college kid in the world who's learning software starts with Android, whether they go to Apple or whatever later, they start with Android. And if there was something nefarious in the code, the whole community would know about it, and it would be a big, huge uproar. So that's why I'm more pro Android than I am pro Apple, because they're open about it.
That's good and dandy, but as far as what Danny was talking about with the lady, what the lady was saying, that the phones can listen and gather all that data. The phones, as far as and this is what I've heard in a couple of podcasts with different officials and stuff like that the phones, well, not the phones, but the government, numerous governments have programs to, even if your phone is off, even if you have it, you could take the battery out or whatever. It'd be pretty difficult with the phones nowadays.
If you take the battery out, yes, but not these.
I mean,
not with these
Most
phones.
phones today.
And
you
you're
cannot remove the battery.
you're absolutely
they can
correct.
still
The
they can-
government,
Yeah.
but they have to hack it.
They don't have to hack it.
No,
It's not.
They don't.
It's
they
not.
would-
It's
they
not
would-
a.
They would
It's,
have to hack it.
look. It's
but
not
it's
a
easy.
capability of them hacking it. They can just tap into your phone very easily. They've done this to numerous officials. They've done this to numerous phones. I mean, they have the technology.
Well, no,
to listen and
it's what I'm saying
and
by
to
a hack
access
is
your
that
camera.
there was not a loophole left by the manufacturer or the software writer. What they're doing is something that they did themselves, and the reason why they have the right to do so is because of the Patriot Act.
Correct.
But it's not like there is an agreement between Google and the government.
No. Well, that again, we can go there another time. But I mean, anyways, conspiracies. Anybody?
But that data is exactly why Facebook works. Facebook is not about friends connecting with friends.
No,
It's far
it's
beyond
about
that
making
now.
money.
It's about collecting data.
It
It's
is
about
now.
collecting data. And,
I mean, it's
and
turned.
all of these other apps, so many of them are about collecting data, and that's what they're doing. They supply you with a service that you see and that you like, but often in the background there is a lot of stuff going on where they are collecting that, and they're not getting rid of it. They're
No.
holding on to it.
Whoa.
And each phone
And they're making
has
it
its
bigger.
own unique identifier, and none of that information is trashed. It's all saved.
Yeah.
So it really is kind of, in some ways, kind of scary.
Absolutely. Me and Pat were talking earlier about Chat GTP and all that, and
No, that is scary.
That's scary because that's AI, and we were talking.
Well, they found, put it this way, they taught it in English, and they found out that it's been teaching itself languages, and they asked it questions in like languages they never even programmed into it, and
Yep.
it answered it in those languages.
What are you
So-
talking about?
So the AI is learning. GPT is learning on its own faster than they know what it's learned.
Yep, and that's not a good thing.
So
You want
the
to say a little
creators-
bit about what
the,
that is?
The creators do not know what Chat GPT knows.
Yep. So tell anybody out there that doesn't
So
know.
for
what
instance,
ChatGPT
I just watched a video on it,
Yep.
and
course you did.
the professor was like, he asked ChatGPT, he's like, analyze my home network, find a vulnerability, and write a script in some computer language, I forget what he said, to hack its vulnerability. And he had like the computer screen up, and it just went through a whole bunch of freaking code, and then gave him the code up on there to exploit his home internet, and it was like 4 seconds.
Wow. But that's the power of it right now. I mean, right
And
now
but that's
it's
like
it's
how basically he had to ask. He just used layman's terms. So
Yeah.
you could just take that program and hack someone's internet.
But how long?
just by
How long
using-
do you think that? And this is what I was talking about with Pat, because he doesn't believe, because it's AI, and it's not AI as in, Terminator 2 or whatever.
No.
As in AI.
There's
that,
no see.
that it's gonna-
Here's the thing: is that there is no consciousness behind it, and what it's doing is just a database of gathering information, but it can't do anything.
Right.
It doesn't have. It doesn't have the
Based
capability.
off of all the cell phones. in the world.
It doesn't. Well, it's just a whole bunch of information. Okay, does not create life. Like that's the misconception with it. What's actually more scarier. So what's scary about ChatGPT is what someone could do with it if they knew what they were doing. They can ask the right questions. They could really screw someone's life up.
Right.
So they're trying to write legislative laws right now because that's why the guy did the whole thing. He's trying to get Congress to write laws about AI so that people can be protected in case something like that happens, because right now there's no law about it.
Yeah.
Or at least not much. But what I think is even scarier than that is quantum computing.
Yep.
Because right
Supercomputers.
now, three or four different companies have claimed quantum supremacy, and what that means is a certain task that they've been able to do with computers that would take literally tens of thousands of years, they were able to do in minutes with a quantum computer, and that in itself isn't scary, because all that is, it's some arbitrary, like, impossible question, and that is absolutely useless to me and you. Like that question that they asked, it was, like, it's like absolute boring stuff that has nothing to do with anything, and it was just to prove a point. What is scary is when they're able to make it do everyday things, like, like what you do on your computer, like play a video game. Like, could you make a video game in quantum computers? No, you can't. It can't do anything close to that. It's just, but when it can, this world's going to turn upside down real quick. And because if you have a computer that can do normal everyday tasks at the quantum level, you could literally hack anything in mere seconds. Because of the fact that when you hack something, like, say if I was going to hack like the White House or something like that, and there's a code, and there's like a
Here
256
comes the
bit
block
code.
of the podcast.
So
Yep.
that
We're all gonna get subpoenaed in the
so if
court.
you have a 256 bit code, you have 256 to the power of itself for combinations,
Yeah.
which is like a big, huge freaking number. Okay, it's in the billions. if not even more. So
Zillions.
if you were going to do that with like a regular computer, it would take like 30 years for you to hack the White House. Okay, a quantum computer, if it was able to, if it was able to do that and process that kind of software to do that, it could do it in like a half second.
Yep. It's a scary,
So
scary thing.
when someone creates that first computer, it's who does. And because of the level of technology it takes to create something like that, it isn't going to be evil genius in the basement.
Now, check this out. Something to kind of blow your mind. Now, ChatGTP is on version, what, 2, 3?
I have no clue.
So I think it's on, in my recollection.
I know
think
Bing
it's-
uses it now. It's part of Bing. So if you use Bing, you're using ChatGPT.
So, say it's on version 2. So ChatGTP is technically AI. So imagine AI with quantum computing. That right there,
Come with me if you want to live.
pretty much. That for me is game over for me, man. I mean,
Well, there's still so
how are you
it's
going
like-
to stop
it's
that?
like, because it's like a hammer. Okay, you can kill someone with a hammer, or you can put in a nail with a hammer, but you still have to pick it up and use it.
But that's the
AI
thing.
is the same thing. It's still it
tool.
needs a user. It needs a user. It
But
doesn't do
how
anything
long?
by itself.
But how long and how many years? Because right now, when
A long
first,
mother trucking time.
no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think it's probably I don't say it's going to happen in the next few years, but I mean somewhere down the line, maybe 10, 20 years, and quantum computing is a real thing now. And between now and maybe 20 years from now, it's going to look really scary.
Bree says hi.
Hi, Bree.
Hey,
Bree, we love you. We miss you.
by the way, Jay, your boss, Dave, chimed in and he said that Raising Arizona was Nicolas Cage's best movie.
Raising Arizona.
Never saw it. Never heard of it.
I didn't see that one.
I'm
I
gonna
saw
have to
a
put
lot.
that on
It
my
was a
to-do
very
list.
good movie. You should watch it.
I'll
Thank
put
you,
it on
Jay.
Thank you, Jay. I put that on the list.
But I still think The Rock was his best movie.
That's a damn good one.
Yep.
But as far as conspiracy theory is concerned, my favorite one that people talk about that has, I guess, some relevance into question is probably the Apollo 11 lunar landing.
Apollo 11 lunar landing. The one
But
that never happened.
That was all faked.
Yeah,
the
but
one
it's-
that
it's-
never happened.
the one that most certainly did happen. Here's why. Number one, there was tens of thousands of employees that all got paychecks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That doesn't prove anything.
Let him
Well,
finish.
no, paid
well,
They could have been paid off.
Let him
It doesn't
finish.
matter. Well, okay. 10,000 people being paid off. How much is that?
I don't know.
Way less than it costs to go to the room. Okay.
The room?
So the moon, the way less
The
than it
room-
costs
that's
to go
right.
to the moon.
If the moon-
So
they saved all that
like,
money.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, if they went to Hollywood and said, "Hey, we want to do this," we want to do this moon thing, and then they went through all the stuff that they were going to have to fake, Hollywood say, "Hey, let's do it on the moon." Like that's what they would say. The other thing is people say, when the lunar module took off, there was no flames behind it. When it was just like a jet of like a small little blue thing. And then, why wasn't there any like fire and stuff? And I'm like, well, number one, there's no fire in space. There's no oxygen for it to burn. So they weren't burning kerosene and freaking oxygen like they do when they lift off and you get like this big huge bloom. They were burning different chemicals and they're pretty much invisible when they go off. So there's that. The other thing is people say, well, the flag was waving. The flag was not waving. The flag was had a rod going across the top of it to keep it straight, and they were waving it themselves to make it look like it was, furling in the air and stuff like that.
So
I mean,
it sounds like you're arguing against
I'm
that
arguing,
it happened or didn't happen.
I'm basically saying is just like all the points that people picked out, like, oh, that's fake, like, oh no, it's not, like there were shadows in different places, but the moon dust itself is reflective, so there's shadows all in different places just because of the material it's made out of.
How do you know?
Somebody
You've never been
else-
to the moon.
The other thing
his
they said
dreams,
is
he
why
did.
were there footprints in the moon dust if there was no oxygen, if it was in a vacuum? And that's because you don't need an atmosphere to make a footprint. All you need is friction. Okay. And they've repeated this like whatever for in
a vacuum?
Thank you.
So it did happen.
So it did happen. Most
Are
definitely.
you sure?
Absolutely.
So it definitely did happen.
110%. It would have cost way more to fake it with all the actual, like, the people that worked on it, how long it was worked on, the months of, like, people talking about it and everything, like all that stuff. Come on. It's just a load of crap. It's a load of crap.
So it did happen. Did we find
definitely.
anything up there? Did they say that we found anything up
They
there?
found
They
rocks.
found rocks, yeah.
They found rocks.
They found
Just rocks.
rocks.
No alien
They
bodies. No
bring
base shit.
bring back some rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
Wow.
turned into Transformers.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
They were
They
on
made
the
a-
dark side of the moon.
Yes, they did. That was a good movie too. I like that
A
movie
little over the top. Yeah.
a little bit, but
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as debunking conspiracy theories, the only one that I'm still wary about is JFK.
Oh, he was definitely killed. He was definitely killed by the CIA. 100%.
But was he killed by Oswald?
I don't think he was killed by Oswald. I think
'Cause they-
Oswald was
so
a patsy.
They had, I forget what year it was, but it was in the 2000s that I guess some scientists proved that he did it from
The book
yeah.
That who
repository.
did it
Repository.
from what? You
that
quit
Larry
making these vague
that,
statements.
that Oswald shot from the repository or something. I guess that ended it or something, but I don't know. I never saw that.
I have no doubt. That he did shoot some rounds, but I mean,
Haven't you all watched The Umbrella Academy? I mean, we know what happened to Kennedy.
yeah,
Right.
exactly.
How many times did you even see JFK? Like, that was great.
That was a good movie.
Great
Kevin
movie,
Costner
Kevin
as the
Costner,
lawyer.
yeah.
My God. But I mean, I honestly don't think. I mean, they still won't release any of the documents from that time period of the CIA.
Or what about did you see the X-Files episode
No.
where are you familiar with it at all?
X-Files, of course.
Okay, so you know the cigarette smoking man.
Of course I do.
He actually shot
Oh.
JFK and set Oswald up as the patsy.
Of course.
And that was fun how they did that kind of play.
That was
out
good.
the whole
I need
thing.
to watch the X-Files again because that was a great show.
The first few seasons are really good. It start once all that crap started to happen with
Mulder.
yeah,
And the aliens.
no, I mean once the actors started having issues with getting pay and what's going on, and
I didn't know that's
Duchovny and Gillian Anderson were like having this problem of working together, and then he left it just got weird after that. But the first
Man.
like 4 seasons, totally solid stuff.
I mean, I know they made an attempt to bring it back,
Mm-hmm.
but it only lasted for what, 1 season, 2 seasons?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, it was one.
that was probably the most watched at its time when it was on. I mean, that was probably got to be number 1 every month, every year when it was on. I mean,
my
there was
favorite
nothing else
show-
that touched it.
Yeah,
My favorite show that was
when
like that-
X-Files was on, it was amazing.
Yeah.
My favorite show that was like that was Fringe.
Mm-hmm.
That I watched every.
There were a couple of references to the X-Files.
It
both
was,
done by
yes.
Fox.
Yes.
And they were like, these used to be called X-Files. Now they're Fringe. Now
Yeah.
it's Fringe
Yeah.
Department. And like,
Oh, man.
yeah. But
I
they
mean,
never
that
crossed
show
over
was-
or anything.
I know.
That show was amazing. That was the last show that this guy was on. I forgot his name.
John
Spock.
Noble.
Yes.
Oh, and Leonard Nimoy.
Leonard
yes.
Nimoy. That was the
Leonard-
last show that
yep,
he was on
Leonard
before
Nimoy,
he
yeah.
Before he
Leonard
passed,
Nimoy was the bad guy.
he
How
wasn't the bad guy in that. He
Yeah, he
was not
was.
the bad. No,
he was
wasn't.
trying to end the universe.
He wasn't.
He-
He was
he
trying to
was.
save it.
He was.
What? Was,
You need to
yeah.
rewatch that, boy.
I do.
He was
Yeah.
trying to. He
My
tried
God.
to freaking end the
The
universe
last-
and create his
the
own
last-
and make himself God.
I missed that part.
That's another show though. The first 3 seasons, amazing, and then
Yeah.
4 got weird.
Yeah.
Five is just like
I mean,
bizarre.
with the
Oh,
the
but it's-
merging of the universes, and it got really towards the end. It was like
Yeah,
What are they doing?
Yeah, it got
and
really
it,
weird.
and it took place in freaking New England, so you gotta watch.
I'm
it.
sure.
Yeah,
I'm
it was
sure
a-
season
yeah.
5 was done in the middle of a writer's
Like, I'm
strike
like-
or something.
Yeah, something like
So
that.
it's like, when they show it, I'm like, oh my god, I've been there. I've been there. I've been
Mhm.
there. And
Yeah,
Yeah, it was good.
the
that
way
was a
they
good
had
movie.
the font, and it
Mhm.
was like mirroring like everything around it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
Like,
was really
like,
cool.
oh,
that was
so
really good, man.
That
You,
was very
you
good
almost
stuff.
thought like, wow, how'd they build those words there? Like,
Yeah.
oh wait, that's just graphic.
And they brought back Mr. Joshua Jackson out of nowhere
Mhm.
on that one, huh?
Mhm.
Wow, I was surprised. I was like, man, all right, he can still act.
Mhm.
All right, I like it.
And then there's what's his name? Walter.
Oh,
Yeah, John Noble.
Oh my gosh,
He does so amazing. in
so
that.
good.
man.
Perfect.
Yep.
Such an
Oh my
amazing
gosh.
actor.
Yep. Nobody can. He played like how many different people in that too? It was
Oh,
like,
Well, 2.
Yeah.
but multiple universes.
He
and
played
stuff like that.
himself
He
in
played
2 different. One he was kind of crazy, and the other he was.
crazier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he was.
He had no marbles and marbles.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness,
So-
But he got away with it. It was amazing.
so
it was,
good.
It was really, really good stuff.
And his one-liners were the best.
Yes, the Walterisms.
The
they were called.
Walterisms, yes,
Walterisms.
were
They were
great.
called. Yep.
So before we start running away with conspiracies and turn this cigar podcast into a conspiracy podcast, what do you guys think of this cigar? I think with the drink,
I don't
think
believe
it's
in it.
amazing. Well, of course you don't. It's conspiracy all in itself.
I'm warming up to the drink. Though.
I
See.
smoked this earlier,
Guys are corrupting me.
and by this time I'm probably the last third, and it kind of fell through on me. It was the spice that was there in the beginning and the woody notes and everything. It kind of fell off, and it was kind of meh. And it was okay. And then obviously because we were working downstairs, I had to relight it a bunch of times, so it just
That
completely
always. Yeah.
it completely fell off. But I
Yep.
mean, with this cigar, I mean, it was pretty good. Downstairs working with it and everything and smoking, it was pretty good. With the drink, it brings a new level of
What's the name of the
taste-
drink again?
oh, I don't know.
Someone
it's a
asked.
Manhattan.
It's a rye Manhattan.
It's a Pat Manhattan.
It's a Pat Hat.
Pat Hatton.
It's a Pat Hat.
I like
There
it.
you go,
It's a
Ken.
Pat
Ken
Hatton.
asked.
It's a
a
Pat
rye-
Hatton.
It's a Pat Hatton.
It's a Pat Hatton.
Pat
So with the Pat Hatton and the with the cigar, I mean, it's amazing. And at first the drink was, I thought it was a little bit too sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And then with the cigar going through with it back and forth, I mean, it brought both of them alive. The drink kind of settled down a little bit, and the cigar kind of came a
The
little bit more.
sweetness really goes with this.
Yes, it does.
It brings out the wood. It complements the spice.
Yes.
And there's that zip from the rye and the cognac in there that
Mhm.
just, there's some burn to that. Even though it's a sweeter drink, it just brings out a lot of the cigar, and
Yeah.
the cigar makes you want to take another sip of the drink too. It's
Yeah.
a really good pairing.
Yeah. Kudos to Pat, man. I mean, he has turned into a damn good mixologist up here in this bar. I mean,
Don't ever tell him that.
no. I mean, he'll leave
Oops.
his firmship and become a bartender
Yeah.
full time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we all like the cigar. That's what I'm hearing.
And
really
I'm
good.
warmed up to the pairing.
Okay.
He is.
Well, we've already gone like way over for the
Yep,
cigar.
So let's move on to the pipe
move on to the pipe tobacco here. We've got a pipe tobacco that we've done, I think, a while ago on the show. It's been over a year since we've looked at it. GLP's Fillmore. And one of the reasons I wanted to do this again, it's good to revisit stuff. But,
Yeah, Pat's giving us a thumbs up
Pat,
over
yes,
there.
that's right. Pat gets a thumbs up.
He was listening.
And
all right.
but this particular tin was tinned almost exactly 2 years ago. You can see that there. I don't know how close you can get to that, but 6/14/21. So almost exactly 2 years ago, that was tinned. So you got a couple years of age on this. We liked it when it was fresh, but how is it when it's got a couple of years of age on it? And that is what we're going to be looking at now. And let me read you what is on the tin here. It says a thick sliced broken flake in the Scottish tradition. Red ripe Virginia tobaccos are combined with a generous measure of fine Louisiana Perique
Oh yeah.
and then pressed to marry the
Pressed.
components and deepen the flavors.
Deepen.
The cakes are sliced and gently broken before tinning. Fillmore presents an elegant sweetness and delightful piquancy, enhanced by a creamy richness that develops throughout the bowl. Sit back and enjoy a lovely leisurely smoke. Like all of GLP's blends, it's manufactured by Cornell and Deal. It's vapor, Virginia Perique, and a teeny tiny little bit of Latakia,
Teeny tiny.
like less than 5%. So very, very little bit of Latakia. There's no flavoring on it. That's
Did you say St.
advertised
James
anyway.
Perique?
No, I did not.
Okay.
Um,
I thought I heard.
although that's probably what it is because that's what they use now. Although that wasn't quite up to snuff a couple of years ago. The 31 farms that they
But you
use
did say
now,
Perique, right?
Perique.
Yeah.
Perique. The 31 farms that Cornell and Deal has an arrangement with where they basically get their Perique from this one place. They make it for them. And kind of with them under Jeremy Reeves' instruction. I don't know that that was exactly in place 2 years ago. So whether it's that genuine St. James Perique that they're doing now, I'm not sure. And it's a flake. It's a ready rub type
Flaky.
thing.
Ready rub flake.
Mm.
Don't we love those?
Like your mom.
Like my mom. Sure.
Mm.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Again, very kind of woody, very earthy. It's got a natural
Nice.
sweetness to it.
Natural.
It's got
spice.
some nice spice in the retro,
oh, it's very nice.
deep flavors.
Mm. Now
Mhm.
for
There
the
we
drink,
go.
because I was telling Pat earlier when I had some of this. I had some of the Fillmore earlier. I wanted to kind of get reacquainted with it, so I had some. He was explaining the drink, and I was like, okay. I was like, this is
Let me
gonna.
explain it to you.
I'm very excited to have the drink
Mm-hmm.
with the Fillmore because I think they would go really well. And let's see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Mm.
that's very pleasant.
Mm.
It does. It does. Mm. It goes well. It does.
It does.
does. Mm.
Mm-hmm.
You get more sweetness up front. You get the spice.
Mm-hmm.
Still get that woodiness to it. I think it's bringing out a little bit more sweetness than
yeah,
I anticipated.
Mhm.
But I mean,
sweetness from the Virginias.
yeah, and that getting that woody note, that long finish woody note on the tobacco.
Mm-hmm.
Longwood.
Long wood, baby.
Mm.
Still plenty of that spice though in the retro.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it.
Mm-hmm.
I think this tobacco has actually gotten
Better.
better with age.
Yeah.
And I think it's gotten, the flavors have not lessened. I think they've actually gotten more pronounced.
Yeah, they've
I don't
deepened.
remember it being this
Flavorful.
spicy.
Mm.
I don't remember it either. Period.
I just
Well,
know I just know I want a 2-year-old tin of this stuff. That's all I know.
There he is. That one day, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, he's done a hell of a job. I mean, to have it.
Leaving the humidor unattended.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
Good job, Pat. Good job. But yeah, I mean, what a beautiful spicy combination that the drink and the Fillmore give it. I mean, it's savory, it's spicy, it's sweet, it's not overpowering. They're not, butting heads at all.
Right.
They're really complementing each other.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been surprising to, one of these days, we need to have a
One of
pairing
these
that
days.
is completely different from each other. I mean,
We've done it.
I mean, we have.
We
Since
had
I've-
Sam
since
the
I-
barman to do that for
Right,
us.
exactly. I
Now
mean,
we're,
I know.
I think we got to try to have
We
Pat
should
do it.
conscript Sam to come back for an episode.
At least one
we
episode.
need to call that boy and be like,
But
yo, you
The
need to come
rye,
back.
I think it's the rye, really goes well with this.
Yeah, Yeah, to have the rye
There's nothing awry with the rye.
Nothing
No.
awry with the rye.
but to have the rye on its own, I think the rye would be would be interesting to try, but I think it would definitely push the sweet note in here. I think it would push the sweet note back. You'd get more of that spice, maybe more of that wood in there. It would be an interesting pairing. I would probably have to try it off camera or off show, but I mean, with this drink, I mean, it's so pleasant. It's everything is kind of lining up.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice.
Mm.
I really enjoy it.
All right. Well, at this point in the show, I think it's a good time to do the 724 flashback. Of the week. Flashback of the week, a weekly segment highlighting historical events, brought to you by 724 Cigars. Smoke a piece of history.
Absolutely unequaled.
And we have several things in this one to talk about on this day, May 29th, 1953.
1953.
New Zealander Edmund Hillary and Sherpa mountaineer Tenzing Norgay became the first climbers ever confirmed to reach the top of Mount Everest.
Ooh, that's an achievement, right?
Yes. They were part of the 9th British expedition to Everest, and Hillary went on himself to then, in future years, go to the North Pole and go to the South Pole. And from then on, it was like he was the first person in recorded history to be at the North Pole, the South Pole, and the highest place on the planet.
That's awesome.
And it became known as the Three Poles. Who else can do the Three Poles? And people have been trying to do that ever since.
So, fun fact.
Mm-hmm.
Everest was named after a guy who didn't even pronounce his name Everest. It was Everest, something like that. And he had actually never even been on the mountain, and didn't even want to be named after it, after him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah,
So how did that happen, Dave?
I forget. I watched a video on it. It was really quick. So
Was
But
it
it
on
was
TikTok,
today.
Dave?
no, you guys heard of Vsauce, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
I heard
that's
of
who
Vsauce.
said it. So Mr. Wild Eyed Guy. Yep. So I trust him. But yeah.
If you go back further, if you go back to May 29th, 1911, the very first Indianapolis 500
Yes.
race was run
Yep.
in 1911 on this date.
Meow.
And then if you go back even further, if you go back to May 30th, 1868, that was the first time that Memorial Day was celebrated as a federal holiday in the United States.
1868?
Honoring 1868.
Wow.
It was called back then. It was called Decoration Day.
Oh, yeah.
It
Did
was
someone
called
get
Decoration
offended?
Day. No, but the idea was you decorated the graves. That was what you did on that day, and it was to honor the people who died in the Civil War.
Yeah. Happily,
Right.
Yeah.
Now, up until 1970, it was celebrated on May 30th of every year. But then a law was announced because we like our long weekends.
Of course.
So it was changed to the last
Last-
Monday in May.
In May.
And so it would be, May 30th was the first Memorial Day, but today is that annual day. And since 1971, it's been celebrated on the last Monday in May instead of the 30th. But it goes all the way back to then. And, it's become the unofficial start of summer now, the long weekend. People are asking why we're open. People are asking why we're doing the podcast.
Yeah.
People are,
Sorry.
you're
welcome.
It's, but
Show must go
it's-
on.
the idea of taking a day to remember the men and women who gave their lives for our country, all throughout its history, I think is really important. It's important to take part in that. There are all sorts of parades and stuff that go on and now we obviously all worked, so we didn't participate in any of the parades or anything. But is there anything that you guys do Memorial Day weekend? Are there things that you do, or that your family does
barbecue.
on this weekend? Argue? Is that what you
No,
said?
barbecue. Barbecue.
Yeah, just barbecue, spending time with family.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much it. Just taking the opportunity. Obviously, we have to work, but
Yeah.
in the past, when I've had the day off,
Yep.
which is very rarely because I've worked in customer service pretty much all my life, so I don't think I remember having a day off on a Monday because customer service really, you really never stop doing customer service.
No.
But yeah, usually it's a barbecue, and I mean, for me, any chance that I can get to spend time with the family and
Barbecue.
and argue or
Barbecue.
have a drink,
Barbecue.
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 So, Dave, did
all
you
that.
barbecue this week?
I personally did not barbecue, but I partook in someone else's barbecue.
So you did. You
Yes.
did the barbecue thing.
Yeah,
Did
I
you
was-
do the barbecue thing there, Nick?
And
We
at
did.
poolside. might
Yep.
I add.
We did yesterday. We did some barbecue. It was also yesterday was my sister-in-law's birthday, so we did the birthday. We did the barbecue, and I did work a little bit. And I got home and
Birthday barbecue.
continued to build my wife's
Chicken-
or I
chicken
should
coop.
say our chicken coop,
Or
which
your
is
your father-in-law's chicken coop?
yes. Well, it's
It's your father-in-law's chicken coop that's
He's-
in your yard that your
yes.
wife is making you do.
correct.
Yes.
ish. There's some truth to that. And
Mm.
there's not, but I mean.
But there's more truth than
There's-
not truth. As we like to
I
say.
mean that.
Here
I
at
mean
Twins.
as soon as it's done, I'll make sure that I get a video so we can put it on the thing on the
Mhm.
video on the cast here. So, but I mean the thing is turning into a huge mansion now. It's not even a
Yeah.
coop; it's a chicken mansion.
Chicken mansion.
I mean the thing is 10 feet tall and 20 feet wide, and it's
How many chickens are you gonna have in there?
I don't know.
A lot.
I don't know. My wife's talking about goats now, and she's
Goats?
talking about
It's a bad idea.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that and she's talking about peacocks still. And
Silly.
look, I'm all down for it, man. I don't care anymore.
You're
I
gonna
mean,
feed the hawks.
yeah, right.
Someone's got to feed the hawks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I had we were outside,
I
Teresa's
was
house,
outside
and
jump
taking
up-
her
yeah,
dog
well,
Stella
well,
outside.
dog
There were
outside,
two
and
hawks swirling literally right above the tree line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just like, all right, I picked Stella up and I'm like, let's go inside.
And Stella chicken.
No, Stella's a dog.
Oh,
Yeah, but she's a bug,
a bug.
a Boston Terrier
Is it
pug
Oh,
mix. So
oh, so one of those mistakes.
it's like a bigger pug,
Mhm.
slightly. Yeah, absolutely
a
adorable.
slightly bigger bug.
Yes. So, but that was they were like literally like right above the tree line. Like
Mm.
one of them actually stopped and like on the top of one of the trees because that's it's not like it had to go down. I mean, it was just a
Mm.
high. They were just watching. They were like, no,
Mhm.
no,
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
They'll pick off anything that they can get their hands on. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the hawks in this area, especially where I live too, out east
Mhm.
next to Kingston. I mean, they're huge. They're huge predators, man.
Mm.
They're just as dangerous as any foxes or bobcats or coyotes or
totally.
anything.
Totally.
I mean, and the crazy part about it is that you'll never see them coming. I mean,
Mhm.
you think that you'll see them, and next thing you know, your chicken's gone or your
Mhm.
puppy's gone or something.
Kid's gone.
Yeah, I would hate to see that,
Mm.
but I mean, there's some hawks and eagles in the world that they got a 12-foot wingspan. I
Mm.
mean, it's crazy. Those things they grow astronomical sizes.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely true. Is Memorial Day really kind of the start of the summer for you guys?
Yes, it is. I think it's that's when usually you get
So
everybody
it's June
starts
21st.
yeah, everybody starts opening up their
Mhm.
pools and everybody got green grass and the barbecues start coming out and then you start hearing the fireworks. I mean, that's
Mhm.
like day one. I mean, then
I
you're
thought,
kind
I
of
thought
like
there was
in.
gunfire at Hooksett today. It was so loud. I thought someone was tapping on the window. It'll be like messing with me or something. But no, it's just fireworks.
Now that we're about halfway through the bowl, what do you guys think? Is it developing or is it staying the same?
It's kind of evening out. Like it's kind of
Yeah, it's
settling.
definitely mellowed a bit.
Mm.
I feel.
Mm-hmm.
In a good way or a bad way?
I think in a good way. The drink is
In a
kind of
pleasant
mellowing
way,
it
you
down.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not as crazy spicy as it was when we first lit it, but I mean,
Still
it
got
has.
a lot going on.
Yeah, I mean, I think if any, it has not that it made it complex because I think the blend is as complex as it is, but I think it's mellowed it down to where you can kind of notice the complexities of it now. So it's really nice. I mean, really good.
Do any of you taste the Latakia in this?
A
The
tad bit.
Latakia.
A tad bit. How
I
about-
did at the beginning, but not so much now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really don't taste it at all. There's a little bit of smokiness in it.
Mm,
Maybe that's what it is.
yeah.
Maybe it's just a smoke. But
Mhm.
No, like kind of right at the end a little bit. But I mean, because everything has been mellowed down, it's not like how it was earlier where it was so pronounced. Everything is kind of mellowed down where it's kind of like really straight across the board and you really got to focus on it to really kind of bring out the Latakia in there. But I mean, if very little.
Yeah. You know, Greg Pease just makes great tobaccos.
Yeah.
And he comes out with, there's like 40 of them.
I hope he comes up.
And
really
and
do.
there's this is one of those blends that I don't get all the time, but whenever I have it, I'm like, wow, this is really good. I should smoke this more often.
Yeah.
This should be more often in my rotation.
Mm.
But it's it's one of those things that it's and when you see that here's the tin that's it's not like this stuff has been sitting in our store for 2 years. That's not the case. But the last time that they made this was a couple of years ago, and so probably it's probably been in our store for what we have, probably 3 or 4 months. Is the last time I bought a bunch of Fillmore.
Mm-hmm.
But we still have some left, and it's really good when you get stuff like this and it's aged like that. It's just fantastic. You got to check it out. I love how Cornelian Deal puts the tag on the bottom of the box,
Yeah.
bottom of the tin, excuse me, so that you know the day it was tinned.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really enjoying this,
Yeah, I am
and it
too.
goes great with the Pat Hatton.
The Pat Hat.
Pat Hatton.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta love it.
Hatton.
Pat. No.
Pat Hatton.
Pat Hat. Like if you made like a patina fashion, then you can go patina fashion. Something like that.
No.
Patina.
The patina fashion.
Oh my gosh! Oh, that's hard. Yeah,
That's what she said.
you had to say that, didn't you? Dave?
I'm surprised you
Yeah,
didn't
just
play the
say
stinger.
Too far away.
Oh, oh my goodness.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So, final thoughts on this?
Oh, it's good. Come on now.
It's sweet. It's just barely smoky. The Virginias are nice. I mean, you can it's pairing really well with the Pat Hatton.
Mm-hmm.
The mouth feel is like this sweet kind of molassy type feel to it. I don't know. Maybe I'm not hitting molasses right.
Well, you weren't saying it right, but yeah.
Whatever. The I don't know. It's what would you call it? I don't know. Maybe it's just a sweet cognac, taste in the mouth.
You think that's the drink?
I think it's more the drink, yeah.
I mean, as good as the tobacco is and as good as the drink is, and I hate to say this, but
He hates it.
no, look, I'm enjoying it. The only thing that I don't like about it is how it mellowed out the tobacco. I mean, I loved it in the beginning where you got that nice spice,
That could just be the bowl
and
mellowing out.
I mean, I had it earlier, and I got, you know what I mean, and I'm down about half, 3/4 of the way now, and it wasn't like this when I smoked it earlier. It was a powerhouse throughout, and maybe because that was
So you
that's
think
what
the
it was.
drink is kind of calming it down? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think the drink is calming it down. I think it mellowed it out a little bit. And for some people, for you guys, that's great. And I enjoy it, but I mean, I wish it didn't do that. I wish it would more or less just bring out more of the flavor. And it does. It makes it calms it down, so it's a flat plane. So
If
you
you
can kind
stop
of
drinking it, it does get spicier.
Yeah, but I can't stop drinking it.
He's addicted to the Pat Hatton.
The Pat Hatton's too damn good. So, but I mean,
I'm surprised
overall,
it's not gone. I'm very impressed with you. Like the last couple shows, you've lingered on to your
well,
drink.
we've only
man.
had one drink.
You know?
If it,
Yeah,
no.
but that never stopped you before. We've had one drink before, and it was gone in the first 5 minutes of the show.
The last one, I went through
my
it.
drink was
And then-
gone. I don't know, but I'm doing this. Here, get back. Give me yours. You're not drinking it. Blah, blah, blah.
So, overall, man, overall it's a good one. I just didn't like the aspect of it mellowing it
Well,
down
that's a good
too
point,
much.
Dan. You know, if Pat was here, you know, he would have more to drink.
Probably. That's possible.
That's a history show. That's hit. You know, that's happened before.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's our show for tonight, and we'll be back here next Monday, 8 o'clock, right here, Facebook, YouTube. Whether or not they're recording everything you're doing, we don't really know, but we'll
They
be back.
probably are.
And that's not just blowing smoke, people.
Stay smoky, my friends.
Adios.